Hello everyone, I'm Kate, and today we're going to go through a Sun Salutation A from beginner, intermediate, and advanced. Most yoga sequences build off of Sun Salutation, so you can always come back to and refer to this video either for a warm-up or for a refresher. Let's start at the top of our mat with the block at our feet in Tadasana or mountain pose. Think of your back against a wall. In this pose, the core is engaged and all points of the foot are pressing into the mat. Next, inhale the arms up to the sky, and exhale, sweep them to the floor, coming into Uttanasana or forward fold. Back is rounded, and the knees are bent generously, since this is our first one for the day. Inhale to halfway lift, or Ardha Uttanasana. The back goes from a curved position to a lengthened straight back. Hands can come to the shins, thighs, or a block. On the next exhale, bring the hands to the floor and step the right foot back, followed by the left. Then drop the knees to the floor, coming into a modified plank. Engage the core, inner thighs, and press the palms into the ground. By pushing into the ground and activating our muscles, the ground pushes back into our body, giving it an extra lift. Without the activation, our body hangs, like so. Inhale to prepare. Roll the shoulder blades back, bring the body slightly forward, and exhale, come into Chaturanga or four-limbed staff pose. Bring this pose all the way to the floor. Inhale and keep the shoulder blades retracted. Lift the gaze towards the top of the mat, coming into Cobra pose. The back bend here is in the upper back, not the lower back. Next, let's transition into Downward Dog or Adho Mukha Savasana. On your next exhale, come into tabletop, curl the toes under, and then send the hips back into Downward Dog. Bend the knees generously since this is our first down dog of the day. Pedal out the feet here just for a little extra movement. And let's inhale, gaze to the top of the mat, and take a few steps into forward fold Uttanasana. This can be very slow since this is our first one. Now in our forward fold, we're going to transition back into Tadasana, our first pose. Activate the glutes, and then slowly roll the spine up to standing, vertebrae by vertebrae. You can do this with just one big inhale, or you can always breathe halfway through the top. Let's go through this Sun Salutation again. Inhale the arms up, and exhale Uttanasana, forward fold. Engage those glutes. Inhale Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Remember to use the block if you need to. Exhale, bring the palms to the ground. Left leg extends, followed by the right leg into a plank. Remember our first round, knees can drop to a modified plank, or you can stay here in a full plank. Inhale, roll the shoulder blades back, lean a little forward, and exhale, come into Chaturanga, and come all the way to the ground. Inhale to Cobra, and exhale, flip the toes under and send the hips back into Adho Mukha Savasana, Downward Dog. Here we want our shoulder blades pressing away from each other, sort of to counterpose the Chaturanga and Cobra. Our back isn't rounded, but our shoulder blades are trying to kind of press away so that our back is nice and flat. Inhale, look to the top of the mat, and exhale, take about 2 steps to the top of the mat, coming into our forward fold. Inhale and slowly roll up to Tadasana. Now we have our final advanced round. Inhale the arms up and exhale to Uttanasana. Inhale Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, press the palms down into the mat and jump both feet back to plank. Inhale to prepare. Exhale Chaturanga. Flip the tops of the feet. Inhale Urdhva Mukha Savasana, upward facing dog. Engage the inner thighs and core to prevent any dipping in the back. And of course, you can always refer back to the previous rounds by being in Cobra. Exhale, flip the toes, Downward Dog. Inhale, gaze to the top of the mat, and jump the feet towards the hands. From our forward fold, let's inhale and roll the body up to standing. In our Tadasana, take a few breaths here, maybe close the eyes, and think about our last 3 Sun Salutation A's. The first Sun Salutation A you can always refer back to. I like to use it as a warm-up. when I'm just getting started in my yoga practice, or some days my body just needs something a little less intense. For this final round, I'll cue the poses and the breath work, but I want you to take this time to do it with your own breath and your own pace, since this is your own practice and I'm just here to guide you. Inhale, Tadasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Plank. Inhale, Prepare. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha Savasana. Exhale, Adho Mukha Savasana. Inhale, jump to Uttanasana. Exhale here. Inhale, Tadasana. Now to end this practice, let's go into one more forward fold, bending the knees generously. From here, carefully sit down and transition into laying fully on the ground. If this was just a warm-up for you, then you can move on to the next video, or you can stay here for our Savasana. For Savasana or corpse pose, sit in a relaxed laying down position. The knees can come up if the hips are tight, or they can stay extended. From here, make any final movements maybe before we go into Shavasana if you need a little extra stretch. In Shavasana, let your mind wander and peacefully drift into a state of relaxation. Or if you're really advanced, you can just shut your mind off altogether. Mine tends to wander, so I like to think about how grateful I am for my body and how it lets me move. I think about my hamstrings working, my toes working, my core letting me go into a plank and a upward dog. I like to relax all my muscles, letting my brow go soft and my jaw relaxing. You can stay here as long as you want, whether that's 3 minutes or 10 minutes. I tend to go for 7 minutes because it feels the most optimal and sometimes even like a cat nap. I appreciate you guys practicing with me today. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. I will see you next time. Namaste.